Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today I wanted to talk about a race that I finished yesterday. Today is Tuesday, January 2nd, 2024. And as of about 2:30 yesterday morning, I finished the Snowdrop race down in Missouri City, Texas. The Snowdrop Foundation raises money for pediatric cancer, both awareness and research. It's a wonderful organization. I've heard about this race. It's been going on for 11 years now. I've had several friends that have gone down there over the years. This year, I finally let my friends Kathy and Dina talk me into going down there. And it was a good experience for the most part. The race is super well organized and supported. Kevin Klein, who's one of the big organizers, does a fantastic job. They use Mike Melton timing, and Mike does a phenomenal job timing the race. It's a 0.69 mile loop around in Missouri City, Texas. We set up tents along the course. And you just go round and round. You have to go 145 times to get 100 miles. Of course, the winners, it's just whoever can go the furthest in the 55 hours. I went into it, I wasn't in necessarily great shape, so I was just shooting to get to 100 miles. It was my slowest 100 ever, but I did finally get it done. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about the race. Like I said, my friends Kathy and Dina convinced me to go down there, but then Wayne, who's a good friend of mine, was going down there, and he kept texting me and talking about us setting up our camps together. He ended up sharing a large tent, like getting one half of it, with a girl that he had met, I guess, last year at Snowdrop, named Melissa from Tennessee. And I'll show pictures. They made a sign that says Team 10 Nexus. Because it was her from Tennessee and us from Texas. And they got down there. Wayne lives, well, his mother lives just 40 minutes from the park down there. So the tent setup was the day prior to the race. He left and was able to get down there at 8 a.m. and get a good spot. And he saved some room for me to put my tent next to him. So that's what I did. My wife drove with me on Friday morning. We got down there around 10 or 10:30 on Friday morning. Set up our tent. Went out and ended up back we stayed at a hotel. I rented a hotel for all 3 nights, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday night, Friday afternoon, I really met Melissa for the first time, and I went with Wayne. We went and had a nice lunch at a restaurant, and then we went and checked into the hotel, had a nice early evening at the hotel. I didn't sleep really great both on Thursday night or Friday night. So going into the race, I had thought I might try to run through the first night to build up the miles. But going into it, I immediately knew that I was not going to try to stay up all night because I just was already kind of sleep deprived going into it. Hey guys, kind of dark picture, but I'm here before the start of the Snowdrop 55-hour race. My goal is 100 miles. We'll see how it goes. Didn't sleep real good the last couple nights, but it's good to be out here, and I'm all set up with my tent. I'll try to show that later. It's a little dark to do it right now, and anyway, I've already seen a lot of friends, and it should be fun.
So if you guys haven't already gotten a prison issue, this is the man.
Race meeting. They said Snowdrop has raised $75,000 so far this year for the kids with cancer, for their chemo and their treatments.
So my name is Mike Melton. I'm your timing monkey for the weekend, and so I'm going to be located in the purple tent right here by the arch. And so the way timing works is this, that your race bib has a timing chip on the back of it. So where you...
Thank you, ladies. That was fantastic. Just a few other things. We do want to get a group picture. So I think we just got having as many people, get everybody into this space.
Started the race, felt okay. I basically stuck with Kathy and Dina, and they were pacing it out really well, running sections of the course, walking sections, and we were keeping a nice even pace and making some progress. Okay, so a little check-in here at Snowdrop. I'm almost 10 hours in. I'm about 36 and a half miles. Going well. It's almost 5 p.m. I'll probably just keep going until 10 p.m. I'm mostly walking now, but I should be able to get over 50 miles, and then I think I'm going to head to the hotel tonight and come back and finish up the 100 tomorrow. And I'll just stay tomorrow, however long it takes. Anyway, I started off, I ran in these North Face Vective Endurance 3s, which I think are actually still very good shoes. I'm really used to zero drop and a wide toe box. These have a 6mm drop, and usually I can go up to 6mm and not have any issue, and I don't think the drop caused me any issue. These have a fairly wide toe box. I thought they were going to work really good for me. And the tread is not real aggressive, so they just have become to where they're not really my favorite on technical terrain. And they're very cushioned, so I thought these were going to be great for the race. I had put about 50 miles in them going in prior to the race, but I don't think I'd done anything probably above like 6-8 miles in them. Well, I wore these at first. I thought they were working, and I get into about mile somewhere around 35, and I realized my big toes on both feet are hurting. So I decided I was going to switch into one of my shoes with a wider toe box. And when I took off my shoe, I had an enormous blister on my left heel. Some of this can go back to me not making a mistake. I thought the course was half concrete, half kind of a crushed gravel. And it was somewhat cambered on the crushed gravel portion. So that actually caused a little bit of issue with people's feet. You kind of slid over sideways in your shoe if you didn't find the flattest area all the time. But I should have worn gaiters to keep any sand or rocks out. I didn't get many, but I have little bits of sand in there and a little bit of rocks. And I definitely had blister issues. Even though I wore my Injinji toe socks and did things that normally prevent my blisters, I did have some issues. Anyway, when I took off my shoes because of the sore toes, which my toes were already, big toe was floating on a blister. So I will probably end up losing my left toenail, I think, eventually my left big toenail. I had a huge blister on my left heel, which was almost as big as my left heel. But I switched shoes, and I went to Topo Spectres, which I had used for 50 miles at Perpetual Motion earlier in the month. I felt immediately relief on my toes. The extra toe space actually really helped. My heel was still bothering me, but it really wasn't hurting that much at that point. I just knew it was blistered. But it was kind of hard getting my foot in and out. I continued in these. I was feeling a little tired. I wasn't moving real fast, but I kept going until about 11 p.m. and I set it up for my wife had left for a while. I had set it up for her to come pick me up about 11 p.m. I got to 53.85 miles by that point, and I quit for the night and let her take me back to the hotel. I didn't come back until I think I started the next morning around 8:15. I started to put on the topos again, but I also discovered as I was having to change clothes at night that it hurt to get that real blistered foot into this shoe. Just because of the way it's curved, it was harder. So I went and then switched the following morning to my Ultra Torrens, and it's a much smoother and more straight up and down heel, which made it easier for slipping in the blistered foot. I went real early the next morning. Snowdrop is so well supported. They offer in the morning. There's breakfast foods available. They'll cook pancakes and quesadillas, and they'll have bacon. Anyway, there's a lot of things there in the morning. There's coffee that's hot coffee that's available around the clock. And of course there's regular aid station fare. There was tailwind available out of the thing, water. Anyway, it was very well supported. And then two times a day at both lunchtime and at dinner time, they provided a hot meal. So on Saturday we had for lunch, now I'm forgetting. I know that night we had pasta. On Sunday they catered in barbecue for lunch and fajitas from a Mexican restaurant for dinner. And I also know on Friday night, kind of later, they just brought in pizzas for everybody to eat. So anyway, super taken care of, the runners. They have a medical tent, which was phenomenal. Sometimes it was so busy you'd sign a book and then they would just tell you to go do a loop or two, and then you could come in and they would stretch you out. They would help with your issues. Unfortunately, I actually spent quite a bit of time in the medical tent on Sunday. But early Sunday morning, because my blister I realized was really big, I went and I let them kind of do minor surgery to my left heel. And they drained the blister and did some work on it. And I'll show pictures of the blister. It's actually not when they did the surgery, but it was when we got home yesterday. My wife looked at it and worked on it a little bit. But so I went to the medical tent. I was actually kind of reduced to mostly walking yesterday. I was walking but making progress, not moving super fast. I needed to do just under 47 miles yesterday to get to 100, because that was my only goal. I was having fun sharing loops with people. I spent time with Wayne and with Melissa. I spent time with my friend Deborah, who was there for her. She's been there all 11 years, and she has finished 100 miles all 11 years. Friend Letha, who's amazing. I think she's 70 years old now, and she's just should have been an American record for 48 hours at the Snowdrop this year. My friend Butch Allman, who I've known for several years, he was the first person I knew who had ever run 100 miles. I met him in the late 90s or 2000. His wife and my wife used to work together, and I got to know him. Anyway, he's a neat guy. I've seen him some over the years. We've kind of lost touch, and I think we're planning to go maybe to some other races later this year. But he's 68 years old, still out there crushing it. He did 150 miles. Still very strong runner. So it was a lot of fun. Forget people that I've spent time with on the trail, but I spent time with Vincent Antunes, the owner of Trail Toes. Anyway, just very pleasurable. Met a lot of people, got to visit with people, but I was definitely struggling. I went in one time and had myself stretched out because I was having lower back pain. That seemed to help it. I went to the medical tent again later that day on Sunday because my area behind my knee down into my calf was hurting. Every time I would sit down, I'd get up and then I would have to kind of hobble around for probably half a loop for it to get better. And they stretched me out for that. Hey guys, so just a little update on how the run is going. Last night I ran until 11 p.m. and then I had my wife pick me up. Since she traveled down with me, we got a hotel for her for the weekend. So she picked me up about 11 o'clock and took me back to the hotel. At the time I was at 53.85 miles. I have had some issues. The shoes I started out in, I thought they were going to work good for me. The North Face Endurance 3s. However, I guess the toe box, I thought they were plenty wide, but they were causing me some issues. My big toes became super inflamed. I do think I'll lose my left big toenail. But worse than that, when I finally took it off, because I noticed that, I pulled it off and I had a big blister on my left heel. I switched to Topos, which the wide toe box made the toes feel better. But I guess it continued the friction on the heel. And by the time I went home last night, the heel was pretty much one huge blister. I went home, back to the hotel, I took a Epsom salt bath, tried to sleep as best I could. We got up and ate a little bit of breakfast at the hotel. We got back here about 8:15 this morning and I started going again. I walked a couple laps, but my heel was really bothering me. I ended up going to the medical tent and they did some work on it. They drained the blister and taped it up. And it hasn't been too bad. It's still a little uncomfortable, but it hasn't been too bad. Today I switched to my Ultra Torrens. A lot of toe box room and well cushioned. They've worked well. I'm still not moving very quick. I've had some lower back issues as well. So it's been kind of a rough race, but right now it's 4:50 p.m. And I am a little over 75, almost 76 miles in. So it is a 55-hour race, so I do intend to finish the 100 miles and get my belt buckle, but it's not pretty. This will be my slowest 100 finish ever. But I just thought I'd give that update. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye. Finally, right around mile 80, I don't remember what time that was, but it was in Sunday evening, fairly early. I started feeling better and I was able to start running some again. So I kind of went back to the way I was at the beginning, where I was running a couple sections of the course and walking a couple sections. That lasted for about 10 miles. I went in and stopped to just do a real brief stop and knocked the sand out of my shoes and grabbed an electrolyte tablet. And when I did when I got up, I could hardly move, and it really started hurting a lot. I really never ran again after that, the last 10 miles. But I just trudged on ahead, found friends to walk with, and I finally got to my 100 miles at about 2:30 or 2:40 in the morning. So they'll tell you when you have one lap to go. There's actually signs every lap. It'll tell you how far you've been and your distance and your time and your overall place. But I wasn't really concerned about place at all. So, but when I got to 144 laps, you had one to go. They have you go over and ring the bell saying you're starting your final lap. And they give you, at night, they give you a light up little blow up pole stick to carry around the course. So everybody knows it's your last lap. And people will cheer for you as you go around. Now, I probably had a little bit quieter cheering crew since it was at 2:30 in the morning, but still, it was really nice. You go around, you come in, and they cheer you in. They hand you this beautiful buckle, and a sticker that says 100 miles, and up here it shows the Snowdrop Foundation's symbol. Anyway, the buckle is beautiful. It's bronze with a sterling silver inlay, and it's just really pretty. Anyway, I'm proud of the buckle. It definitely wasn't one of my better races. Like I said, it's the slowest 100 miles I've ever done, but I wanted to get it done, and really enjoyed the time. That race is so well supported. You can see I've got a shirt that I got in the packet. I got a hat. They also gave us a bag that we were supposed to just go collect swag, and there's a first aid kit. There's 3 bottles of trail toes. There's baby wipes. There's rain poncho. There's toothpaste in here. There's a cooling mask to put on your face. There's I don't even remember. Anyway, it's just loaded with stuff. Kleenex. Anyway, really cool. Lots of swag. Super well supported race, and I can't say enough about that medical tent that kept helping us get through it. So, like I said, one of my bigger struggle races, but I really still had a good time, and it's something that I think people should consider doing, and it raises money for such a good cause. Anyway, that is my race report for the Snowdrop 55 hour. If you found it interesting, please consider hitting the thumbs up, the like button. If you're interested in any more of my content, please consider subscribing to my channel. And other than that, I hope you had a wonderful new year, and keep moving.